Hi there, Rob here. This is the third video in a three-part video series that I'm doing relating to student income or part-time income and some of the options that you can explore to find ways to get that extra income. I'm going to go straight into it. Let me just say this. I'm not an expert in any of these fields, but what I can tell you is I know about them. You can go from be a waiter or barman, you can do casual babysitting work, there's commission sales, there's marketing and promotions, you can even work as a casual, as a in a store, and there's another half a dozen of those that are available and worth looking into. The point with these is that I don't have to tell you that there's positives and negatives to all of them. Let me run this screen by you. Okay, the negativity is they're not that easy to find. To find the ones that are profitable, in my opinion, is the dangerous. So you end up, promising to be the local babysitter, and you print flyers, and you spend a fair amount of money, and you run up and down, and then you get one small job every sort of 2 weeks from the same person who, is paying you much too little for your efforts and that kind of thing. Okay. Other of the job options leave you having to pay fuel and transport costs to get there, and total inflexibility in your hours. And in fact, the only positive side I can think to it, and that's only one, is that once you've established in one of these jobs, you will be aware of what your income is and be able to budget to it. And in my opinion, is the income is too little, but that would be your choice. You would see it for what it is. Now, this third video targets or talks about none of those, and not the iWriter, which I spoke about in the first video, or freelancing your services in the second video. This one, although I'm covering the other jobs briefly, it's about starting a real business online, a small, highly targeted business that involves very little work, in a manner of speaking, and could become a full-time business for you forever. So the negativity of that website income or business online that I promote is that it's not going to make you money in the first month or two, probably not. In fact, there's a high chance that it'll be your third month before you earn money, and the fourth or even fifth month before you've actually received the checks and cashed it. The good news is, another negative is there's no guarantee on that income. And remember, I do know what I'm doing, but if you wanted to choose something that perhaps wasn't as likely to convert into business, you might only end up after 6 months earning 2,000 a month, 2,000 rands a month. Oh, please, international guys, apologize if I'm talking in rands. South African rand is 8 rands to $1, and a US dollar if you want to do any conversions. So pause this, write that down, and anytime I mention 2,000 rands, got to do the maths divided by 8. So there's no guaranteed income. However, there's negativity on both kinds of jobs, and I say that if I help you choose one carefully and you work at it very hard and diligently, I'm pretty much tell you that it's almost impossible to not make money. Yes, you would have had to have written 150 or 200 pages before it's coming in as a positive income, but I suspect you'd be earning 5,000 rands to 20,000 rand within a year. And in your second year as a student, you will now have this 5 or 10 or 15,000 rand income regularly, and your work at that stage is very little compared to the initial work that you had to do in the first place. Positively, of course, is that, like I said, you could literally, for the same effort that other people are earning 2,000 rands a month, you could be earning 20. You can work at 3 o'clock in the morning. Your hours are flexible, and your overheads is your hosting per month. And there are some very cheap ones, which I could direct you to. At the very worst, you're in for a good hosting, 65 to 85 rand a month. So that's not that huge. Compare that to your cost of your fuel just to get to your job, and it's in fact a total bargain. Okay, so this business concept that I suggest you approach, briefly run through these. There's low capital outlay, and low meaning for the return you get. I could charge you up to 25,000 rands to build your website. The beauty of that is that if you took, and I don't suggest it, I wouldn't mind the money, thanks, but no, I'd rather be honest. But 25,000 rands, you would probably be doing no work at all on your website. So all you do is simply be buying yourself an income that would come back to you after 6 months at the rate of 5 or 10,000 rand a month. But you could start on as little as 1,900 rand. That's kind of the level where you would start. The recommended level is 14,000 rand, but I understand you're a student or looking for part-time income. You don't have, or probably don't have, that kind of capital to lay out. So 1,900 rand gives you the shell, incidentally the same value that you would get from an 8,000 rand website from other people, but from me you get that for 1,900. And I then show you step by step. I give you videos and training on how to keep doing the rest of the work to where you would have it as a full-time income. Okay, it becomes residual. So the beauty of this income is you can literally, when varsity closes in November, you could literally take December and January and February off totally. You ignore your website, but you will still be getting that income from those 3 months. So you can be on holiday on the coast, climbing mountains, or fast asleep in bed for 3 months and still earn your money. It's residual. Okay, pretty much 30 hours of work per month on your business. So you would have to work around that. You could, I don't know, do a few hours on the weekend, 8 hours and a shot. So you're doing 16 hours, 2 weekends a month, and it's done. When I've written here, initial content is harder. Yes, that original 60 to 150 pages is very, very important, and that needs to be written in the first 2 months. But once you've done that, it kind of cruises along much easier after that. If you wrote those 150 pages in the first 2 months, you will very definitely be getting a nice income from it in 5 or 6 months. If you spread those first 150 pages over 6 months, it's just going to take you a lot longer to earn. Okay? You will need to buy a domain. You're going to actually own a website. It's going to be designed to bring you business, as simple as that. I'm going to show you straight after this how and where how it works, so don't worry about that. You will be paying for your hosting, as I said, and basically you will be writing content for your website. That's all you do. Pretty much 90% of your work is written content. There will be no stock carrying. You don't need to replace stuff. You don't need to do any of that. Okay. Let me just close all of these images that I had open for you. Here's how it works. This is the business that I'm suggesting you get. You find what Google tells you. This is called a keyword, by the way, up here. You find what Google tells you is being searched for online. What keywords are being searched for? Okay. I bought a product called Embarrassing Product Riches. I'm going to flash this across here. You can pause this and read some of these rude words. But when I say, remember, they are embarrassing product riches. And the point of these is that if somebody's too embarrassed to tell their friends about these items, they're also not they're gonna need to go online to find a solution. So those kind of products are exactly what you would do or get or use to find people that have those issues. Okay, now I've jumped straight ahead so as not to keep you here for 25 or 30 minutes, and I've looked up social anxiety. Okay, now social anxiety is looked for in exact terms. If you look down the left here, and these are related, and in South Africa I've set it for all of those. So in South Africa, social anxiety is not an issue. Therefore you would be targeting international people or buyers or people with the issue. Now look at this. You would buy, I would do this kind of thing, and I'm going to run through this very fast. I would buy a domain with the keywords in it. I would do the correct setup of your website. I would set up your keywords, your tags, and all of that pre-done. You would write the content on these titles. So you would write a 1,000 word page on social anxiety treatment. You would research it so that you know that the answers that somebody who looks up social anxiety treatment, the answers that they get from you, help them. Remember, you want to help them. That's the whole point. But you help them up to a point, and then you tell them, I really suggest, though, you go ahead and purchase this ebook that will cover everything in detail. It's a 75-page ebook, and it's got fantastic answers, etc., etc. Please, I suggest that if you have issues with social anxiety, the best treatment is this report. And you would do that page after page until these first, let's go with these first 10 are your pages, and all the rest become posts and keywords. As I said, the equivalent of 150 pages, almost totally talking about social anxiety. What is social anxiety? Social anxiety cure. Now, if somebody's looking for a cure to social anxiety, believe me, they are having such issues with it that they're not getting to go and date, they're not getting to interact with their peers at work, they're not getting business. They just need to overcome a serious problem. Now, you write and explain and go through it from your research, but you keep sending them onto the report. Now, here's my question to you. If there are 33, 43, 50, 60, 70, I've got no idea, 75,000 people a month in the world looking up issues to do with social anxiety, the question is, how many of those people, if they appeared at your website, would buy? Now, let's go with numbers just for argument's sake. I've just said, let's go with 60,000. Let's say I built you a perfect website, and in doing so, only 30,000 people appear at your website. They've actually clicked through and they're reading your page or your post. 30,000 in a month. Now, to be honest, it'll take me probably a year to show you how to, or to build that for you, but perhaps 6 months, but let's say 30,000 per month are appearing on your doorstep for that issue. The question I want to ask you is, how many of those 30,000, if they're looking up overcoming social anxiety treatment, social anxiety support, if they're actually looking up those words, trying to find a solution, what percentage of them do you think are buyers? And that is the answer to, or the real answer of it in reality, is how much money you will earn. I haven't bothered looking yet because it'll just take too long, looking up which products there are available to help you overcome social anxiety, but I can tell you now there are. And in fact, I could tell you this: if there isn't one, you should take time out to write a book that's 150 pages long, and you would then sell that at 350 rands or whatever that is in dollars. I've got no idea. Yeah, totally guessing. $17, I'm guessing. 30, 25, who knows? $47. That's more like it. $40. You would sell that. You would get 350 rand if you sold the book for yourself. If you didn't, you'd sell it for somebody else, their book, and earn a commission between 50 and 75%. So if you were earning only 100 rands commission or $15 commission per book that you sold to those 30,000 people that were appearing at your doorstep or onto your website, even only 10,000 people looking for a solution, how many do you think you can sell? If you sold, let's go right down, I mean from 10,000 and only 1% buyers, that's 100. But you're making 100 rand commission, you've made a 10,000 rand income. And you do not, that's 5 months, my bad, 5 months of what you would what you would earn if you worked 2 days a weekend, every single weekend for 5 months. You would earn in a single month without, in fact, leaving your house. So that's my point. That is why a residual-based solution website for products that are slightly embarrassing or have a pressing need, curing colic, how to get pregnant. Oh, there are thousands and thousands of them. So when I tell you I've got thousands of good ideas, I really have. And they are simply by finding out what people want. You could even take a single keyword like this: overcoming social, and actually this is better because it's more of a buyer keyword. So you go to social anxiety treatment and you target just that word. So you build a website called socialanxietytreatment.com, which is probably sold. So you do socialanxietytreatmentsolutions.com, and you build your website on that. You will now be chasing these 2,900, 3,000 people searching for that solution. So now we're looking at much lower numbers, but you're targeting a keyword that has much lower competition. Let me do this for you, and hopefully it won't take too long to get to answer on this, because this tool that I use, and it's part of what I'd help you with when the time came. And incidentally, Traffic Travers, it's free on my website, which is probably where you're watching this video from or found me. But if not, it's smallbusinessopportunities.co.za up here. Okay, so let me analyze this keyword for you. And in the United States, remember, that's where the people were, if I'm correct. Let's go and double check where they were. Yes, it was the bulk of the world, so the most competitive is the USA. That's it. So you build a website on those keywords now, social anxiety treatment, and that is where you would go. Now, we're looking at less numbers, right? 2,900, 3,000. So now 1,500 people come into your website. Remember, again, I've told you, I will show you how to build your website that you get those 1,500. Chances are within 6 months you'll be getting all 3,000, but let's be negative. 1,500 people actually click through and come to your site per month. Okay, so it's about 300 a day. No, terrible maths, my man. But anyway, 1,500, and only 2% of those buy, which personally I think is very bad. But 2% is only 30, and you're getting 100 Rand commission. You're still earning 50% more at 3,000 Rand a month than you would have if you'd have spent every single weekend at a local store telling people to buy your batteries or whatever you're promoting that weekend. So it's as simple as that. Build a site that might take you a bit longer. It's going to cost you some capital outlay, so you're going to have to sell your PS3, your electric guitar, and I'm not sure, your phone. But the good news is that in 6 months' time you'll be able to buy back a better one. Okay, so let's have a look what it's telling me. Okay, it's not there yet. Okay, and it's probably going to take a while, which is a sad thing. But I can start to analyze this with you. Social anxiety treatment. If it's actually in the title, then it's a bad thing. It means that I'm going to battle to compete. So if I look through all of these and I find it in the title here, social anxiety and treatment is in the top one, helpguide.org, that's why they're in the top. Here, anxiety, social anxiety and treatment. Social anxiety disorder treatment overview is in that one. It's not even in there. Social anxiety assist is there. And it's an Australian site in the States, which again tells me, woohoo, I'm there. Social anxiety support, still not treatment. Support again. Social anxiety disorder treatment, it's back there. Social phobia treatment. Okay, I can tell you now, for free, when this lot's finished, there's going to be a lot of red crosses and it's going to say easy up here. So I probably don't even need to wait another minute just to find that out. Let me leave off of this, and I can tell you now that I can get to page 1 on social anxiety treatment, that keyword, easily, and that, as I said, is a 3,000 Rand a month income. And once you've done that, if you've established it with 50, 60, 70, 80 pages, you can, at that point, you can stop and go back here, and I don't know if this trick is going to work, and target another keyword that had, well, this is probably going to ask me to log in, but that was closely related, and you buy another website and you set up a new one. That didn't work. And you set up a totally new website and you target another one that's low competition and easy to get. Okay, I'm done. What you need to do, as I said, go to my Small Business Opportunities website. By the way, a full-size website, I can only build 4 a month, so you want to get my help, you need to jump in. In fact, I'm making this video in April, and I'm fully booked for May already. and probably July, if that makes sense. In fact, I even know I'm booked for October. How's that for future bookings? So there's a lot of information on that site. If you want to, you can also go to robertbruceanderson.com. On this site, you can get this report that shows you how to do it yourself. If you totally don't want to involve me, and at least you can see the work I would have done for you for that 1,900 or more. And to know what you get for those different prices, download this price list, and it will tell you in detail what I was prepared to do for you for what amount of money. Where I really score with this is that if you took one of my packages and copied it verbatim and sent it to any other website guy and said, this is what I need a WordPress site of 9 pages, and I need you to do these plugins and these title tags and those things and everything that I tell you I will do, and you ask them for a quote, that one of mine for 1,900 is going to come back at 8,000 plus, and I know that. In fact, I encourage you to do that. It will amuse me, and yes, I'll see you again. Sadly, I've run past 21 minutes. I'm going to stop this and save it and put it onto YouTube and onto my website, and I hope that you have achieved some answers out of it as to what, where, and how you can go about starting to earn either part-time or full-time income in your life. Thanks a million. Cheers.